10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope you guys are doing just fine on this wonderful evening. Let's get into this news story dropping. Daily Wire is reporting, but there's so many news sources reporting on this currently as we speak right this minute. California is planning to release 76,000 inmates, including a violent and repeat felons, and push to reduce prison population. Because that's what it's all about. Reducing the prison population means more than the safety of their citizens. Daily Wire says California on Saturday will begin increasing early release credits for about 76,000 inmates, including tens of thousands who were convicted for violent crimes as the state continues to reduce its prison population, because that's what it's all about. It makes you look good. It makes you feel good on the inside, because there's no drawbacks to this whatsoever, am I right? The Associated Press reports that 76,000 who will be eligible for early release, some 63,000 were convicted of violent crimes. They will now be eligible to obtain good behavior credits that will be shortened by their sentences by 1/3 instead of 1/5 that had been placed since 2017, the outlet reported, Associated Press. The number includes 20,000 inmates who were sentenced to life sentences with the possibility of parole. More than 10,000 inmates convicted of a second serious but nonviolent offense under its state's three strikes laws will be eligible for release after serving half of its sentences. That's an increase from the current time served credited to 1/3 of the sentence, AP added. In addition to nearly 2,900 nonviolent inmates who were in prison as part of the three strikes law will be eligible for early release after serving half of their sentence. Further, all minimum security inmates in work camps, including those in firefighting camps, which basically that's the interesting part about America, will be eligible for the same month of earlier release for every month they spend in camp, regardless of severity of crime. The changes were approved last week by California's Office of Administration Law as emergency regulations, but permanent regulations will need to be submitted next year for a public hearing. Gavin Newsom is single-handedly trying to say they just don't care. Crime is crime, homeless problem, drugs, whatever. They don't care. Dina Simmons, spokesman for the department, told the AP that the goal is to increase incentives for the incarcerated population to practice good behavior and follow the rules while serving their time and practice rehabilitative and education programs which lead to safer prisons. Additionally, these charges would help reduce the prison population by allowing incarcerated persons to earn their way to home sooner. But Kent Scheigendegger, legal director of the Criminal Justice Legal Foundation, told the outlet that the WHO notion of credits for good behavior is misleading. You don't have to be good to get good time credits. People who lose good time credits for misconduct get them back. They don't stay gone, he said. They could be a useful device for managing the population if they had been more teeth in them, but they don't. They're in reality just a giveaway. That's a terrible quote. The AP noted that California's inmate population has already dropped by more than 21,000, mostly due to the coronavirus pandemic. Yes, lots of people were released for that reason. Prior to the pandemic, there were about 117,000 inmates in California prisons. It's unclear how many of those 76,000 who will be made eligible for early release will actually receive it. The drop in inmates will result in a second prison closing in Golden State. Governor Gavin Newsom, Democrat of California, promised to reduce the prison population and close prisons. He's currently facing recall over handling the coronavirus. Close prisons. That's right. That's the answer. Close these prisons, get people out of jail, and see how many become repeat offenders. All these, rioters and looters that just get taken out of jail all the time and, get a slap on the wrist, or they have a Hollywood celebrity bailing them out. You're creating a society of crime that feels like they can get away with whatever they want. And who do you go after? The ones that are law-abiding citizens. Get those people. Get those people that get their guns legally. Those are the real issue. It's not that we're getting rid of and closing our prisons down in order to make it seem like we're doing a good work. We're doing the Lord's work right now. I have no problem with helping people get out of prison if they're doing good stuff, especially those that are just drug addicts. That's a different story. I have a whole gripe about drug addicts going to prison and taking up jail space when they're just users. Unless they are actually hurting someone else, that's a whole different problem. They're getting high, they get in a wreck, they kill someone. That's totally different than just being high on the street by themselves. There's a whole different thing we could get into later, but Gavin Newsom is trying to destroy. Democrats like lawlessness. To say that they don't doesn't make logical sense when you watch the things that they do. Defund the police. Let's get rid of police. What kind of indication does that say? That criminals can do whatever they want. They rule the land. They're in charge. They want to send social workers in for checkups. I get that. I love the heart behind that. I love the idea behind that. But it doesn't make logical sense because a lot of these people are actually criminals. And just like the other day, we had someone show up for a check to make sure they're okay, and they got shot in the face and died. So there are real problems and real crime. This is what happens when you have somebody who's rich, famous, lives in a gated community, has tons of money, can spend money on their own private security, that they are the ones that'll tell you how the police should handle criminals, because they're not afraid. They have security. They have paid security. They want you to not have guns, but they have security guards with guns. It's this liberal, white, elite, not even white. It's this liberal, leftist, elitist attitude of, I am different than you. I can do whatever I want, and you should be subjugated to me, and you should live that way. There should be no threat of you, and I should be stronger than you. That's why this whole pushback of like, we're in this together, as celebrities were sharing them hanging out in their multi-million-dollar homes, and you're looking at them going, we are not in this together. You being bored in your gigantic mansion is different than me being bored in my one-bedroom house. All right? I don't have a personal trainer that's coming over. I don't have a gym in my backyard. It makes no logical sense to do these things, and we will see. Californians will get the repercussions from it, and they, in some capacity, they deserve it, because they keep voting for the same thing over and over again, expecting a change. And if they don't get a change, they move to places like Texas, Colorado, other places in America, Florida, and then they'll probably still vote Democrat because they just don't get it. It was just different. It's just like these kids that are supporting communism. And it'll be different this time around. We're smarter. It's different. There'll be no corrupt politicians. There'll be nobody corrupt in power. Yeah, freaking right. Let me know your thoughts below.